Maison Margiela promised timeless design and revolutionary fashion concepts that exploded across your social feeds, generated millions of views, and had everyone talking about investment pieces, yet somehow disappeared from actual wardrobes within months. This is the story of the Belgian fashion house's menswear era and the dangerous allure of concept brands that promise forever but deliver fleeting hype. When Belgian designer Martin Margiela founded his house in 1988 with co-founder Jenny Meirens, a boutique owner who brought crucial business acumen, he was not trying to create Instagram moments. He was questioning the very foundations of fashion itself. Born in 1957 in Genk, Belgium, Margiela had spent 3 formative years under Jean-Paul Gaultier after studying at the Royal Academy of Fine Arts in Antwerp, before launching what would become one of fashion's most influential yet commercially challenging brands. His philosophy was radical: complete anonymity, deconstruction as an art form, and an obsessive focus on the garment over the designer. Margiela's approach to menswear, introduced through Line 10 in 1998, embodied everything the fashion world claimed to want, but struggled to actually support. He took archetypal male garments like the trench coat, the white shirt, the classic blazer, and reimagined them through the lens of deconstruction. Sleeves were turned inside out, seams were exposed, traditional silhouettes were inverted. These were not clothes designed for viral moments, but intellectual exercises in form and function. The brand's headquarters, a converted 18th century convent painted entirely white, became legendary among fashion insiders. Employees wore white lab coats regardless of their position, creating a visual manifesto about equality and craft over hierarchy. Models' faces were obscured during shows, directing attention solely to the clothing. Every garment bore the brand's distinctive blank white label with 4 stitches, a deliberately anti-logo approach that became more recognizable than any traditional branding. Everything about Margiela's world challenged fashion's celebrity-obsessed culture, decades before anyone was talking about anti-consumerism or circular design. But here's where the concept brand trap reveals itself. While fashion critics and industry insiders praised Margiela's revolutionary approach, the commercial reality was brutal. As business partner Jenny Meirens later admitted, commercially, it was not always easy at the Maison because they really chose creative freedom, 100%. This tension between conceptual purity and market demands would define not just Margiela's tenure, but the entire phenomenon of concept brands in menswear. The numbers tell a stark story. When OTB Group acquired Maison Margiela in 2002, they inherited a brand with immense cultural capital but limited commercial success. Martin Margiela himself quietly exited in 2008 and 2009, disappearing as mysteriously as he had operated throughout his career. The brand that had influenced an entire generation of designers, from Raf Simons to Demna Gvasalia, struggled to translate conceptual brilliance into a sustainable business. John Galliano entered the scene in 2014, bringing a different kind of concept brand energy. Where Margiela had been anonymous and intellectually rigorous, Galliano brought theatrical spectacle and red carpet appeal. His spring 2024 Artisanal collection became a viral sensation, generating the kind of social media buzz that Margiela's original vision had specifically rejected. Suddenly, Maison Margiela was no longer just a cult brand for fashion insiders. It was having mainstream moments. This shift illuminates the modern concept brand paradox. Today's consumers, particularly men building their wardrobes, are constantly told to invest in timeless pieces from brands with strong design philosophies. The pitch is seductive. Buy fewer items, choose quality over quantity, build a wardrobe that transcends seasonal trends. Maison Margiela, with its intellectual heritage and avant-garde credentials, seems like the perfect solution. But here is what the investment piece narrative does not address. Even the most conceptually pure designs exist within fashion's relentless cycle of change. Those Margiela blazers from 2015, deconstructed and intellectually rigorous, can feel as dated today as any fast fashion piece. The cuts that seemed revolutionary a decade ago now read as artifacts of their time. The problem is not quality, it is the fundamental tension between timelessness and cultural relevance. Consider the brand's iconic Tabi boots, first introduced in 1989 and formally launched in 1992. Based on traditional Japanese split-toe socks, these boots were Margiela's purest expression of conceptual design meeting functional heritage. For years, they remained a true if-you-know item, recognized by fashion insiders but largely ignored by mainstream consumers. Then something changed. The Tabi became a status symbol, its resale value tripling as demand exploded. Fashion Platform List declared them the hottest product of 2023. The very item that once represented pure design philosophy had become a hype object, complete with viral TikTok moments and celebrity endorsements. One woman's story of her Tabi boots being stolen during a hookup even spawned the Tabi swiper meme, turning conceptual footwear into internet comedy. This transformation reveals the concept brand trap in action. When Margiela designed the Tabi, he was exploring the intersection of Eastern and Western garment traditions. When consumers buy them today, they are often purchasing cultural signaling disguised as design appreciation. The concept becomes secondary to the status. Glenn Martins was appointed creative director in January 2025, and that appointment represents another evolution in a very dynamic story. The Belgian designer, a Royal Academy of Fine Arts Antwerp graduate, is known for his work at Y Project and Diesel. He embodies a new generation of concept brand leadership, one that must balance intellectual rigor with commercial viability and social media relevance. His debut collection was 1/3 upcycled, nodding to both Margiela's deconstructionist heritage and contemporary sustainability demands. Martins faces the same fundamental challenge that has plagued concept brands since Martin Margiela's departure. How do you maintain design integrity while meeting the commercial demands of a luxury conglomerate? OTB Group's 2025 results showed Maison Margiela growing 8.4%, approaching an estimated $500 million in annual revenue. Success by any traditional measure, but achieved through a very different brand proposition than the one Martin Margiela originally envisioned. The broader implications extend far beyond one fashion house. According to the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, fast fashion generates 92 million tons of textile waste every year, with the average garment worn just 7 times before disposal. Concept brands position themselves as the antidote to this cycle, promising pieces so well-designed and thoughtful that they transcend trends. The reality is more complex. Intelligent fashion consumption requires recognizing that no brand, however conceptually rigorous, can deliver truly timeless design. Cultural context shifts, personal taste evolves, and even the most thoughtful pieces can feel wrong for reasons that have nothing to do with quality or construction. The most sophisticated approach involves building a core wardrobe of versatile pieces, while selectively incorporating elements that reflect current interests and lifestyle needs. The Margiela story offers a roadmap for navigating concept brand marketing. When evaluating any piece positioned as an investment, ask not whether it is conceptually interesting or culturally significant, but whether it genuinely fits your life and aesthetic preferences. The most beautifully deconstructed blazer becomes a wardrobe mistake if it does not align with how you actually dress. What made Martin Margiela's original vision powerful was not a promise of timelessness, but an honest exploration of fashion's possibilities and limitations. He never claimed his clothes would last forever or transcend trend cycles. He simply pushed boundaries and invited viewers to reconsider their assumptions about garments and identity. Today, concept brands often promise more than any designer can deliver. They promise pieces that will anchor your wardrobe, define your style, and justify their price through years of wear. The trap is not buying these pieces. It is believing that any single brand or design philosophy can solve the fundamental challenges of personal style and sustainable consumption. The real lesson from Margiela's legacy is not about finding the perfect concept brand. It is about developing enough confidence in your own aesthetic judgment to appreciate innovative design without needing it to validate your entire wardrobe philosophy. Sometimes the most radical approach is the simplest one. Buy what you like, wear what fits your life, and let the concepts take care of themselves.